Welcome to another episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Joe Serna. It's a Green Beret. What's up, Joe?
Oh man, how's it going, Stack? Happy Sunday, brother. Hope
You
you
too,
relax.
man. How you doing, man? I'm doing great, man.
Man, I just been relaxing tonight, man, watching a little football. Hanging out.
Yeah, yeah, man. I haven't talked to you in a while, man. How you been?
Good, man. I've been good. You know what, man? I wanted to talk to you because I want to say, man, that last one you had, man, I was just laughing at. That was a good episode you had. That was excellent, man. With Sammy the Bull and Michael McKay.
Oh,
Is that how you pronounce it?
Michael Francis.
Francis.
Fighting. Yeah. When I was talking about them fighting with each other.
Yeah, I was just laughing. That was a good one. That was a good episode.
What you been up to,
You,
man?
do you think what? Just real quick. Do you think that those two are always arguing? Like they obviously know each other. But
I
you think,
think it's a lot of it's for show, man.
yeah,
I think it's all set up, man. A lot of it,
yeah.
you
So,
know. A lot of people. Yo, I wanted to ask you: did you start writing a
oh
book
man,
about your story? Can you hear me? Oh, this dude froze, man. Yo, you're there. We're good.
okay, yeah. So what I'm gonna say is if I do come, if I start breaking up like that, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna. It's just gonna be that connection, and then I guess we're gonna do another time because I just I don't want to do that to your viewers. Keep coming in
yeah,
and out.
yeah.
So yeah, for sure, brother. I didn't catch the last thing you said.
Oh, I said, are you starting to write a book?
No, so I have two out, but I'm there's like kind of like a co-author. Like in one book I have a chapter, and then in the second book I have it's called the 20-year war, and it just features a lot of it features the tons of veterans in the book and their stories after the service, and it's just a bunch of pictures and it shows you their service. So I have kind of like a chapter in there, but as
Oh,
far
so it's like a chapter of your story in there.
yeah, so something like that. But that's called the 20-year war, and that just came out 9/11, so the 20th year anniversary, and I think they did a pretty good job with the book, and yeah, 20-year war. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
go check that out, man. Go check that out, people. Yo, you want to tell me the story about the goats, man? Because I've been waiting to hear this story, bro.
Okay, so okay, so this is okay. So, are you talking about the Afghanistan trip?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, cool. I tell you that one, man. It was on one of my early deployments around in 2006, and I was stationed at Fort Bragg, assigned to 7 Special Forces, and so it was just our time during that year to go rotate in. Anyway, that was my rotation, my first rotation, and they sent us out to some small fire. It's kind of a small place, in the big thing. It's just a small fire base, and we do a bunch of missions, just different kind of missions in and out of that base. Some are cool, some are boring, some are fun, some are sad. You know,
Yeah.
and particular mission, it was 2006, summertime, and and there's a lot of backstory to how we developed this mission and why it was important to us.
Yeah.
And so there's a backstory to it. But to move forward on the we call it actions on the objective. So that means just I'm gonna tell you the story about when we're actually kicking indoors. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
nothing,
Yeah.
nothing building up to it. Okay, so we take off from our fire base, and we have this compound. It's about 2 in the morning, and at night, you don't really see a lot of lights from the helicopters in Afghanistan. Not a lot of people have electricity in certain areas.
Yeah.
So it's not like we can see what we're doing most of the time. We have to use our night vision goggles, and so we had this one mission to take down this one compound, and we spin up our helicopters, and it's about 2 in the morning, and it's like a 5 minute flight to our objective, to the compound.
Hmm.
And then once the helicopter set down, they said, "Hey," well, they asked me. They're like, "Joe, go take point to that compound." And I'm like, "Oh, all right, whatever." So pretty much walk to that compound. And before we get there, there's this guy standing outside the compound. And I might have told you this part before. And we're a special forces team, so we have counterparts, local counterparts like Afghan National Army.
Yeah.
We're working with them. It's a joint mission, right? Just part of our mission set. We're working with them. So we all land. We land in these helicopters, 3 helicopters to take down this compound. And we're about to assault it. We're about to assault the objective. And there's this gentleman standing outside at 2 a.m, which normally, that's kind of like a red flag.
Yeah, it's a sign that something.
Hey, they're waiting for us.
Yeah,
right?
like people aren't standing outside that late, right?
To a tree line, which the compound.
Shit. I think I lost him again. Damn, man. We're good.
All right, but you know what? Something's telling me higher not to tell the story, because every time we get to this point,
No, it's cutting it off.
So
it's a higher power, man.
Okay, so we land with 3 helicopters, and I'm part of the main guys, the first wave going in, if you can say that. The first wave of guys going in, I call it the assault force, the main effort.
Yeah.
And we have about 20 Afghanis with us, and there's about 4 Americans, because we're controlling this element, and there's other Americans controlling pieces of this thing. So we have 4 or 5 Americans with these Afghanis, and we have radios. So I'm talking to my boss, and I'm like, man, you see that dude? And I'm like, yeah, I see him. He's like, fire a warning shot. And I'm like, you know, if I fire a warning shot, what's gonna happen? He's like, no. I said, I have a radio, but our Afghan counterparts, they don't have our equipment. So if I fire a warning shot, that dude is coming down.
Yeah, they're all gonna start shooting.
Dude,
right?
they're nothing but AKs. They have about 15 AKs online, ready to assault this place. And I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, what's gonna happen? And bang, I hear a shot. And the next thing I hear a volley of fire, man. It's like rah, rah, rah. And I see man, I see the dude drop, right? Mm-hmm. So now I'm really paranoid. I'm like, man, we just smoked this dude, right? A bad dude. And they're like, all right, man, let's go ahead and hit the compound. So I start heading to the compound, and now because we just had an engagement when we first landed, I would say my paranoia or my
adrenaline is pumping, right?
Adrenaline is pumping because we just smoked some dudes, and we didn't even hit the compound yet. And so I'm like, man. So in my mind, I'm making decisions how to enter this compound, right? I'm going through this process. I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, when we get to the door, are we gonna stack on the door, put explosives on it, or are we gonna throw grenades in it, and then go in? And I'm thinking about all this going up to and it's just, and then on top of that, I'm stepping over a dead dude, and his arms are just straight out. He died weird, right? So I'm like, man, I step over his body. I'm like, dude, I'm not checking him. I'm just gonna keep going because he was at the corner of the compound. Yeah. So I step over him, and then we go down and we call it a stack. We all line up along the outside of the wall, and where we go in Afghanistan, 100% of the houses are compounds, just 4 walls. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's 4 walls. You go into the courtyard, and all the rooms are alongside of the wall, outside the walls, right? It's like a big. That's normally how that's like their normal setup of the compounds. And so so after we get past the guy, we get to the corner, the edge of right around the corner is the door to the entry point to the compound, right? And I tell my friends, man, I'm like, dude, listen, if that door's open, and we're making plans as we go, which that's kind of the process we do things kind of sometimes.
Who makes the final decision on what you're gonna do, if you're gonna throw a grenade or if you're gonna go in there?
The guy on the ground, the guy actually doing the thing.
So the person that's
So so we don't. It's hard to plan for every contingent, right? So
Yeah.
you so some things you play off your own experience, and you kind of call audibles, like in football. Like, hey, you know what? I see the defense lined up this way. Let's do this. So
Yeah.
that's where we were at that point.
It's all whatever decision you're in, those are the choices you got to make, basically, right?
Yeah, you had to go through it. Says, you know what? We're gonna go through it. My mom's dog. Hold on.
It's all good, bro. Yo, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell, man. Make sure you hit the like button. Yo, shout out to Blood on the Razor Wire TV. The story gets real good, so stay tuned. He's coming back.
It's only about 10 minutes. I'm sorry, son. I'm sorry. All right, we got the guard dogs over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, this is how we make a real quick plan. Nothing's perfect. We plan for the best, expect the worst. So
yeah.
So we stack on the door, and we stack on the side of the wall, and that guy changed the guy at the corner that got smoked changed my whole thought process, right? And I'm like, oh man, now they're expecting us to go in the compound. So when we go through the door, they're gonna be shooting at us.
Yeah. Oh man, did he freeze again? Yo, you there?
I am.
He's back. We're good.
My apologies, brother, and to the viewers.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, bro.
Viewers, I'm sorry as well. So anyway, so we get to the wall, and we make this real quick plan and say, hey, you know what? If the door is open, we're gonna throw grenades. If it's closed, we're gonna put some stuff.
Charge on the door.
I was gonna say we're gonna put a 6-rap, but I'm talking terms now. We're gonna put a charge on the door and we're gonna blow it off the hinges because they're metal doors. And then my partner was like, okay. And so so I said, hey, since I made the plan, you look around the corner and see if the door is open. And he's like, all right. So he puts his night vision down. He steps around the corner and he kind of peeks out and he comes back and he called me by my nickname. They call me Cholo. That's my nickname on the team. He's like, Cholo, man, the door's open. And I'm like, all right, let's prep these grenades, right? So I think there was like three of us that had, Americans that had that type of thing. Okay, we're back.
We're good. Yeah, we're good.
All right, so we just prep grenades. So we stand next to the wall. We're like, okay, 1, 2, 3, pull, twist, pull. We go through our thing, and we frag. We call it fragging. We're like frag out, and it doom, 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 doom. Right. As soon as it goes off, we hit the house. We go in hot, right? And we start clearing all the compounds. The grenade was to take away anything that was going to shoot at us going in, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so we went in fast, and we hit it hard, and we did all our room clearing, and then I go back to the main courtyard, the open area, and I'm like, man, I'm sitting there, and I'm depressed, right? My boy's like, hey, man, what's wrong with you? I'm like, man, you know what? There's like 7 goats right here, and they're all dead. And these guys don't have electricity. They don't have a refrigerator. And I'm thinking all this in my head. I'm like, they don't have any of this. Why would they kill their goats? Right? And I'm sitting there. I'm really depressed. I'm like, man, I'm kind of like, man, this sucks. And some of the goats are alive. Some of the goats are barely hanging on. And he's like, they're like, hey, Toto. I said, what? They said, that was your grenade. I was like, oh, shit.
Oh man.
I smoked the whole pack, man, whatever you call it. I was like,
what?
Yeah. And then there were like 10 of them. I was like, oh man.
Oh, man.
I felt so bad, right? I was like, man. I said, hey, that's not part of it. We carry money on us. We carry money on us. I'm like, for our safety, right? I carry $100 on me.
What, $100? That's it?
We carry something, something that says we're American, and then $100 we put in our pocket. And every guy has that. So if we get rolled up by somebody kind of bribing, say, "Hey, I'm
Yeah,
American."
it's just something like here. Yeah.
I forgot to call it bloodshed or something. I call it bloodshed. And you present it and it says, "I'm American, taking back to safety. Here's $100." Right?
Yeah. I never knew that, man.
And
That's wild.
we carry that, but we also carry a stack of money because we operate in different areas.
Yeah.
I'm like, and then I'm like, "Hey, man," and guys, and then they're like, "Well, what are we gonna do about these goats?" Right? And we got one dead dude outside. We got like
Do they eat the goats? What do they have the goats for?
they do. It's the herd. They do
Like milk and all that stuff, and the
that. I mean, that's
fur and stuff, right?
their livelihood because you got to think about this. You're in the middle of a village. There is no grocery store.
Yeah.
That's all they have to, like you said, do milk and butter and
Yeah.
that's oils off the goat. And they use the goats as a shit. And but this time I smoked them all. And I'm like, and I felt so, but I did feel bad because, I didn't want to be that ugly American that just goes in and just does what they does and then we leave.
Yeah.
And like, hey, who has money, right? And I'm like, and then everybody starts going like this, pulling out money, that little money that we talk about, that little $100. We gathered like $500 or something like that. We put all our money together. Hopefully we didn't get rolled up that night. We just kind of just like, here's our money. And then
So you give it to them and hopefully
pay
they're
for
cool with it.
Yeah.
You pay for the goats.
We compensated for the goats.
Do you want to tell the people what happens if you kill somebody, maybe by accident, or do you have to pay for that person after they get killed?
No, I'll tell you. I seen unfortunately I seen some some bad accidents happen with some stuff that was left over from either the Soviet or American War, but they're called UXO, unexploded ordnance. So it's just a bomb that didn't go off.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of areas like that, right? Because we drop bombs and they don't go off, and then you have kids outside playing, and you have no. Okay.
We're good.
And you have nomadic tribes. That's where I seen most of the people. Most of the casualties, civilian casualties on the battlefield. We call them civilian casualties on the battlefield. So we see most of those accidents. I experienced most of the accidents where these nomadic tribes. They travel from village to village to work, and they're literally a convoy of camels, a family like a man, and he has several wives. I mean, this is nomadic. So we're talking, this is how the.
So like inside that gate, the gated community, that's like him and his wife living there.
Oh, those are compounds, and when I say compounds, they're like, if we have houses, they have compounds. So their neighborhood is full of compounds.
So one gated thing is like a neighborhood. Is there a bunch of houses in that one?
Yeah. So so they're just compounds are just houses, right? But they're shaped as compounds, I call them. But it's just like neighborhoods, but they're really villages and dirt roads and all that. Compounds separate. Just that's how they're built. But when I was talking about the I lost my train of thought now.
The unexploded ordnances.
So when I experienced like an accident, it's like some kids are picking up stuff that they should be playing with, right? And I experienced the nomadic tribes doing that because they're traveling between villages and they're just playing with stuff. And some of that stuff is bombs, really bombs.
Oh, like they'll see a bomb out in the sand and they'll go mess with it because they think it's worth money or something, right?
They're like 5, 6 years. They're kids. They don't know. They're just playing, and they pick it up and they're throwing it like rocks or stuff, and it goes off. It detonates. And I seen a few times. There's a lot of instances like where I seen the dad. I mean, for some reason, nomadic guys don't their expressions. If they're happy, they're sad, all their emotions, it looks the same, right? So, and I know they're mourning, and so they'll come to us. And I seen a few times they came to our base and said, "Listen, those bombs outside, they killed all my kids, 5 kids. Can I get a couple $100 for it?"
Oh, they'll come up to you and say that, or
I would.
but do you know it's true? Like, do you know it's true when they're telling you that?
Most of the time we do, because it's you remember where these guys are walking with their animals and stuff. They're traveling between villages. They're
Yeah.
they're close to us. They come to us. It's not like they travel.
Yeah.
It's like they were outside the base, or they seen us out here, and they come up and approach us. If maybe our convoy was in villages, they'll come up
Yeah.
and talk to us and say, "Hey, man," and then we'll go look, investigate, do our thing. And if we see, like, I don't know, like, I don't know, maybe some of your viewers that are watching can answer that, but I don't know if it's mandatory or we're obligated to pay for the loss, but we do, because it's just, you can't really say, "Hey, sorry about it."
Vinny B says, did you know Gonzo and Stevie B?
I know it depends on are they special for? I don't know if they're special. It depends on what group they're. I was in 7th Special Forces, based out of Bragg, and most of that unit was a lot of Spanish last names. So,
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what? That trip too, man. That going back to the goats.
Yeah.
Going back to the goats. You know what? We sat on that objective way too long.
Did you guys eat the goats after they died? Like, did they cook them up or anything? Like, they should have, man, right?
Hopefully they did. Cause we just like, but you know what we did though? We stayed on that 5th and 7th. Gonzo said 5th and 7th. I probably do know them then, Vinny. They're in 5th and 7th. I have a lot of friends in 5th group. That's 5th Special Forces group, and that's out of Fort Campbell, Kentucky. And then 7th is my kind of like alma mater, and that's in Fort Bragg, and that's who I was assigned to. So I probably know those guys. It's a small community. So anyway, we were sitting on that objective, and it is, "Hey, Vinny, come back here. Were you assigned to group 2?
Sure.
He probably knows some of these. Oh yeah, Sergeant Major. He said, "Command Sergeant Major Yakovenko." Yeah.
Nah, man, you're not that late. I just decided to come on a little early, bro. I figured, hey, might as well, right?
What used to carry your money to pay?
Do you all carry money to pay the villagers or just ranking members?
No. So every member of the team carries $100 for the safety of what I was telling you about. But we have a guy on the team that is responsible. We call it operational fund, that carries money with them. I used to carry more Afghani money, currency, because I used to do a different job also. I used to pay sources and information, stuff like that. So I'd carry their currency as well. But we had one guy that just carried.
He said, I actually love goat meat.
Can you hear me? Yeah, we had one guy that
you're good.
We had one guy that just carries the cash for us. Yeah, Vinny. Hell yeah. That's a small world, Vinny.
Hell yeah, man.
So
do you want to tell the people what it's like to come back and get adjusted to life after? And what do you feel about the way they left all the tools and everything in Afghanistan and Iraq and all that? How do you feel about that?
When I came back, I had a hard time adjusting. Yeah, because I came back. To fast forward a little bit after this incident, that was 05, 06. So that was 06 rotation. Then I went to 07 rotation, and then I did 08 rotation, and I got beat up there a couple times. So when I came back, absolutely, brother. Much love, Vinny. Vinny's a cool dude, man.
I got the best.
So when I came back,
best subscribers, bro. All of them are real.
I was injured. I was injured from a suicide blast. So I came back. So I came back twisted, right? A little twisted. My body. I was going through a lot of surgeries, tons of surgery when I got back. Like 5 back to back. Every year I was doing. Like I was in a British hospital for like 2 weeks in Afghanistan, in the middle of nowhere, because they were trying to stabilize me.
Yeah.
And I didn't share that story, but if anybody in 7th, Vinny probably knows the story, because there was a couple stories that were pretty serious, man. It was really serious. We lost a lot of dudes on these missions. No Poppy, bro. Yeah, they do know Poppy. Everybody knows Poppy over there. Thank you, Jen. So I was so I came back, and so I was injured over there from a grenade blast, and the British held on to me for like 2 weeks. Dude, I was getting homesick, man. I was like, and then my wife was trying to call my command and like, hey, where's he at? And they're like, we don't know where he's at.
So you didn't talk to her once you got hurt and you were with the British. You didn't talk to her at all.
Well, my boys tried to sneak a phone in, and then I got caught with it. And then I tried to pull rank on the British like lower listics. They're like, nah, get out of here, bro. You're a patient. And then
Yeah.
they took the phone. So, and so I'm kind of reading this at the same time. So yeah, they kept me for about 2 weeks to stabilize me. I got some major surgery, and my I was cut open from my chest down to the pube area. I had a bunch of shrapnel they were pulling out, and so they finally got me back to the States. I came back, and I tried to my team time, Sherb Dog, Afghanistan. I'm not sure what district that's in, brother. So my team time was done, bro. It's the only form of commerce. Vinny, are you talking about like poppy seeds, or are you talking about something else? Sure, but again, I'm not familiar with that, brother.
It's the money. I think it's the money that Afghanis carry.
Oh, that is
right?
that the you threw me on that one. I don't sure.
I don't know.
So
It's
anyway,
the only form of commerce, he said.
oh, it's only form of commerce. Okay, I got you.
The prison, he said.
Hey, the prison. Hey, there was a. I keep jumping stories all this.
Yo, what do you guys do when you come to a prison? Do they let the prisoners go? Like, what happens there?
Hey, so that's a good point right there. The prisoner. There was my last rotation in 08. There was a prison break where these dudes actually went in, like these guys went in with like fuel in their trucks, blew down the walls. Then they took their RPGs and they shot the towers out. They did whatever. I don't know what they did, but I know there was a lot of Taliban running around like ants. And they told me, they told the team, they talked to my team, like, hey, you're gonna chase these guys down. And so we spun up our helicopters to chase these guys down, and we're like, yeah, right, like that's gonna happen, right?
So would they shoot them from the helicopter, or would they just try to catch them, like land it and go?
I tried to shoot the guy. I got close. I didn't hit the guy, but I got really close to shooting him because I could see the dirt. I was in a helicopter, and I'm like, man, I'm going hot, guys. And I know it's getting close because when you see you see gunfire or you're shooting, you see the ground pop up like kind of like if rain is dropping.
Yeah.
Starts popping up with little dust, little things.
Yeah, when rain hits the dust, like when I used to frame houses, I used to remember like when it was hot summer day and it would rain and it was like dirt around the house, it would hit the dust.
And then the walls be splashed up. And so it kind of looks, gunfire looks like that when it's coming at you. And so when I'm shooting at somebody and I'm missing, I can see the same thing. It's dust is kinetic, when he says go kinetic Staxx, that means you're going in hard. You're going in direct action, you're going kinetic. There's like non-kinetic. That's a good point. Yeah, he knows what he's talking about. Benny knows. So most of our missions are kinetic missions, and yeah. So that was it for man.
So that just means you're going in and you got to just handle whatever you're going to do, right?
Yeah, kinetic missions. Yeah, you're going in, you're hitting them. So we call it. We have 7 core missions in this in Special Forces.
It's a lot of the time. Is it you got to kill everybody, or are you going in to capture people?
So that's a good question. So our missions, and depending on, and I heard it called it different. We call it level 3 or level 1 or something like Afghanistan. They call it level 3. That's a capture or kill mission. That means when you go in, you're bringing somebody out, either dead or alive. So those are kinetic. And
I mean, do you go and like negotiate with people, like come out, or do you?
We don't. I've never done. That is a process called the call outs, but I've never done a call out. Every time we went in, I think later on in when we got further along in the war and we had more restrictions, instead of doing missions like that, we had to do more call outs. But early on,
And when you go to people's houses, right, out there, do you have to have a warrant? How does it work? Like, do they have to come out with paperwork? Like, oh, it's this place.
No, no, that was after my time. They started doing that. They started getting warrants and stuff like that. But when I was there, we just had to give the five like a who, what, when, where, and why.
So it really didn't matter. You could just go in any place. You didn't need paperwork or anything, right?
And I can say, and depending on my information that I'm receiving from people that live there, the villagers, I can develop my own bad guy kind of thing. That's how much room we had to work. And then thank you, brother. Thank you, Smoking. And yeah, I can do my own. We can develop our own target packages, but but later on during the war, when it got more political, you needed warrants for that kind of stuff. Like you'll be going to jail.
I see the cartoon guy, Pete's in jail. Yeah, he'll stay in jail over here. I keep putting him in timeout.
Yeah, man. So yeah, man, I did so when I guess we go back to when I came back, I got into trouble. Well,
What, did you just not give a shit anymore when you came back? Like, what was it? Were you depressed?
well, I told you how I was injured, and I couldn't like say like a Green Beret, right? My belief of a Green Beret is like, you know what, a war is like a football team going to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, you told me that before. Yeah.
And that's how I felt. So when I couldn't pad up, put my helmet on, and get on the field, I was like, man, this sucks. And I was seeing all my boys do it, man, and I got depressed. Human is human intelligence. I ran. That's kind of like based on signal, yep, and other stuff. Um, but yeah, I came back and I was injured, and I was going through physically. I was going through all these surgeries, so my body was healing up, but my mind wasn't right. So what I would do is I think be healthy enough to go back to a team, and I go to the gym or do whatever to get physically fit, and then
Yeah.
I re-injure my stomach, and my stomach would come apart, and my guts would come out.
Oh, because you'd have the stitches and all that holding it together,
Not
and
underneath the stitches, I had a mesh there holding all my guts in from different layers, so it'd go like this. So my guts would go like my stomach would go like this, and then all my insides would like stick out like I was 9 months pregnant.
what's good, bro? I'm great, man. Damn, that sounds painful, man.
Yeah, so I was doing that over and over for about 5 years. I was going in and out of surgery. I was getting ready to medically retire. After 19 years, I was going through this process, and I went from pills to, you know, fire that phone up, moves. Yeah, so yeah, man, that's so I kind of stepped on. I got back. I all G2 is classified information. Yeah, he's got it right. It was scar tissue and mesh that they had in my gut. All right, so yeah, that's kind of the background on as far as I got back, getting twisted and start drinking, start running into trouble with law.
Yeah, and drinking, just when you take drinking overboard, it kind of puts a damper on your whole life, man. Especially when you start catching DUIs and you let it affect you like that.
And then it leads to obviously divorces. I mean, there's a I can speak for the special forces community, but they have a lot of a high divorce rate.
Yeah,
And so that's all factored in. And so I had to get myself healthy, man. I couldn't just stick in the same. I was going nowhere quick.
yeah. And then you're stuck in that same cycle, just drinking over and over. And you're not getting anywhere. I know exactly what it's like, man. I've been there. Can you hear me, bro?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know exactly what it's like, bro. I've been there.
Mhm. What's that? Yeah, so that's what it was, man. It was just I was depressed and I couldn't fight again, so I started pounding.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, bro. anything that goes through this channel from now until Christmas is going to be donated to the homeless shelter in my town.
Yeah, shout out to
I'm gonna,
kick ass, Tommy.
I'm gonna try to help these kids this winter, man.
Yeah. Are you
do what I can.
what's that? Do you have a specific spot for it, or right now you're just looking for nonprofits or?
Well, if anyone donates anything towards this through this channel from now until Christmas, it's gonna go all to the shelter. There's kids in the homeless shelter, and I'm gonna try to get them toys and some clothes and all that. I'm gonna hook them up, man.
No,
They're definitely gonna have a good Christmas this year, bro.
Dude, that kicks ass, man. That's badass, dude.
I'm gonna do what I can, bro.
Got them kids. That's right, Tommy.
And if you can't donate, just share the video. And I appreciate every single one of you, man. I really do.
Yeah, man.
And I appreciate your service, man. Without you, I wouldn't be able to do this. None of us would be on YouTube.
Yeah, bro. But you know what, man? I got the last part of it. Thank you. I appreciate that, brother. And I know I've noticed a lot of viewers as well that had their service too, man. So thank you guys as well.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Dude, you know, man, that's you got an awesome platform, Staxx.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, man. Ever since I met you, me and you clicked like that, bro.
You know what though, too, man? You know what's funny? Yeah, these guys, a lot of these guys have seen the same stuff, man, because they're talking about the same terminology. Dude, everything that I believed in at the time, it was from over there. You know, like I found we're not supposed to be fraternizing over there in Afghanistan, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But you got a bunch of dudes at a small base that haven't seen like anybody for like a long time. And so when they fly in for the things, you're like, oh, I see you first. I'm gonna go talk to her at the cafeteria. So
yeah. Do they swarm them, huh? The women over there? Do they swarm them?
I don't. The swarm. I was first, right?
But, yeah, but aren't you like, damn, man?
No,
they're all swarming her, so I'm not gonna go do it too.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It's kind of something because the base is so small.
Imagine, bro. I can imagine.
You know what I was telling the story today. So when we were coming off from the goats, I told you that story.
Yeah.
I tell you that story.
What, the goats?
Right after the goats, my friend got shot. Did I tell you that one? So yeah.
No.
So you know, I said we were on the objective way too long, and so when we do something like that, hitting compounds and stuff, you got to get in and out, right?
Yeah.
You get time for people to do their thing. Well, anyway, we stayed too long on this specific compound, the goat compound, and thank you, Primo.
The goat compound.
And so my friend, when we were leaving, he gets shot in the stomach. Yeah, he gets shot twice with 2 rounds. And the helicopter.
And that's bad, right? AK round really tear you up.
Dude, it sidelined him for about a year. He returned. You know, he ended up passing away from other stuff, but he returned to duty after he got shot. But anyway, so we load. So the helicopters take off. And they leave us there, right? So that obviously.
After he got shot, they took him.
Well, no, the helicopter comes down. We get ready to load the helicopter. On the other side of the helicopter was a machine gun nest. I don't know what it was, PKMs, and they started opening up on the helicopter. We opened up on the guys that opened on the helicopter, and they turned up on us, and we were going to the helicopter. So that's when my friend got hit. When he hit, and we still had like maybe 50 feet to go to board the helicopter. And so they take off. The helicopters take off and leave us there. It's just, you know, we don't want to lose helicopters like that. And so we sit there, and then we got Apaches, 64s, and they're coming in doing gun runs, trying to soft. Thank you,
Elizabeth. I appreciate you.
Shout out. So they take off and leave us, and they leave us just so we organize, and they can clear the battlefield and then get us to a safe place to pick us up. But now we're carrying a guy that weighs 300 pounds with his equipment.
Yeah.
Right? We're dragging him to the other helicopter. They finally land, and we throw him on the helicopter. Bro, we take off within the helicopter, and it's about 5 minute ride, 5 minute flight
Yeah.
to, and I'm connecting it back to how I met my wife. All right, to the so this is how fast we're like you said swarm. This is how fast it is, right? So we're coming at 2 in the morning, and as soon as the helicopters land, we call it a hot load. They fuel the helicopters up while the helicopter blades are spinning. So, but we're getting off the helicopters, and they're gonna
Yeah, they don't have time to even rest. They're like
no,
just pump it up and go so it can
it
keep
comes in,
going.
and
Yeah.
all the dust is kicking up, and they're like, get off. And so we're taking my friend off, and I'm carrying him, and then the fuelers are coming up, and they're fueling the helicopters real quick so they can take off. It's called the hot load because the engines
Mhm.
are. And
Yeah.
then I grab my guy from the door, right, and then I see this fuel guy person coming up, and I'm like, whoa, right? I say, what's this? Right? Like I seen a bun, right? And I'm like, oh man, I tell my partners, hey man, take me to the hospital. I'll be right back. I'm gonna talk to this person, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
'Cause you knew it was a girl,
I knew, but I didn't say it.
huh?
I was like, it's cool, man. I'll be right back. It's like
Yeah.
2, and she had these big goggles on. This person, and I went up, and I'm like, and she loaded. I'm like this. I knocked the dust off the goggles.
Yeah.
When'd you get here? And she told me some stuff, and I couldn't hear because the blades were going on, and she probably didn't hear me.
Did you know her? Did you know her from before? Have you
No,
seen her before? You never seen her?
that was her first day there.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm like, when did you get here? And then I said, I went up, I got my Mac Daddy mode, right? And I'm like, hey, let me go buy you lunch. About 5 hours or breakfast. She's like, it's free. And I'm like, damn, right? So anyway, I end up leaving. And then
She's like, it's free.
said it's free.
Like, you can't buy me lunch. It's free.
Oh, it's free. The Army's gonna pay for it anyway.
You're like, let me just eat lunch with you then, right?
Well, that afternoon, I got so embarrassed, man. I did some stupid stuff trying to show off in front of my boys, and they started laughing at me. And
Oh man.
in line and getting her food, and I'm like, hey, and I do this thing, man, like an idiot, like this. I call her, I kind of whistle, and she starts walking towards me, and all the boys are sitting at the table, and she turned, and I did that. She turned around and walked away, and
Oh man.
yeah, started laughing. But I guess to make it quicker,
You learn how to ride a horse in Afghanistan.
I did it, but the first guys that went in did. So anyway, now I pay her child support.
Oh God.
Got me for 3 kids.
Oh man. 3
Yeah,
kids.
oh, she's beautiful. Yeah, she's beautiful.
Hey
But
man, shout out to them, man.
yeah, that's the all the military servicemen and women. They all got a tough job. But that's how I met my wife, right? We had a swarm. Man, there's a lot of traffic on here, man. B&Q and
Yo,
Cola.
what are some stories that you have heard when you were in Afghanistan? Like maybe some of the stories that.
I'm sorry.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? He froze real quick. It'll pop back in a second.
All right.
Yo, what are some of the stories that you've heard when you were in Afghanistan that really stick out to you? Maybe that you heard that.
They're pretty powerful. You yeah. Initially, it was probably like things on my first trip that I wasn't exposed to that kind of shocked me. I don't know. I guess it was like for me, my biggest experience, what I heard, and it was true, is the culture over there. And they're like, hey, this is the culture over there. This is how the people live. And I'm like, nah, not happening. But you get over there, it's like, yeah, happening. So yeah, I heard.
It's a real culture shock when you get there, right?
Dude, I wanted to get back on the plane and take back. I was afraid. I hate to say that, man, but it was early on, and I wasn't familiar with their culture. We might train and simulate their culture and what they wear, but when you get off and it's really hot and dusty and in their country and everyone dresses the same, you're like, oh,
Yeah, it's probably a real culture shock, man.
it was a real culture shock. Yeah, that was and because I've been to other countries, and I've seen Western attire. I've been stationed in South Korea. I've been to South America. I've been to Germany, all these places. But when I got to Afghanistan, and that's the only time I've ever been to a place like Afghanistan, Iraq, and I seen their culture. It was just a big change for me. I respect the culture though. Period. I respect it.
So how do you feel about the U.S. government leaving all that equipment there and leaving?
You think we left stuff? If you go back in like to 1980s.
Oh, I know Russia and all that, but we left the night vision and all that. So we're gonna have to go back there and fight ourselves if we go back there.
Yeah, but if you look at their equipment, we left some stuff. We left things that how they're gonna maintain. Like we give them NAS, we give them NVGs, but they don't have the right batteries for it because we don't even get the right batteries for it. So and the common gun and I get what I'm gonna say it's probably common is the AK, right?
Yeah.
AK.
Yeah.
We don't have AKs. So if for some reason they get our M16 or M4s, where are they gonna find 5.56?
I'm talking about they left everything, man. They left a lot of shit.
That's what I said. I didn't see it. I seen it on TV and I experienced it. But what I did see personally, I seen hundreds and hundreds of tanks from the Russians.
Yeah.
Like when them boys got up, when they said, "Hey, we're gonna bring the helicopters in and pull you guys out," they didn't even pull their tanks out. They kept them in the same place, a little position, and they got up and just left. So I mean, as far as their equipment, and we would run across, we call it caches or caches, however you pronounce it. It's just
a cat, like a cache of weapons.
Yeah, we'd find a lot of that, like AK-47 and ammo and some other foreign stuff, made. But I don't.
Have you ever found like a big chunk of money, like a big stash of money, or a whole bunch of drugs over there?
Oh yeah. I found, especially with I as far as money and stuff like that. I found, if I found a bunch of money, I'd take it and I can't use it, so I resupply the community with it.
Wait, what would it be? Afghan money, or was it American?
No, Afghani, and I forget. But I think the actual currency is Afghani. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. It's Afghani money. So I just recycle it too. We didn't use it, so I say, hey, give me some information. I'll give you money. But as far as like a weapons depot, there was plenty of that.
Keeps freezing, man.
Sorry,
we're good now. It's all good, bro. It's not your problem. It's not your fault, bro. It's just a connection. It's not a big deal.
So yeah. I mean, as far as the culture and everything over there, man, it's the people are nice. People are generally nice, And so I just said I had a good time, but once I started losing guys and getting injured myself, it kind of switches your mindset, right?
Yeah, I'm sure you juggle back and forth with.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's hard to if we lost somebody, it's hard to decompress, like to actually mourn, because you're gonna go right back to your base, and with that same fear and that same anxiety and that same sadness, you're gonna be out the next day.
You just push it down and keep going, right?
Okay, so
yeah, you just push it down and keep going, right?
Keep tucking it down, and then when you return, your operational tempo is so quick that you don't have time to decompress. You're already out there. Yeah, so you're already out there training for the next mission.
Yeah.
So you really don't ever decompress. And some guys, like I had 3 or 4 rotations. Some guys a lot longer than that, So
still, man, you went through a lot, man. You fought like hell for this country, and I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, man. It was an honor to, man. And to the viewers as well, your viewers here, man, that serve or in the service, man. Shout out to you guys too, man.
Yeah, man. I got nothing but respect for people that serve, man.
Yeah. And so I did it, and I retired with honor. So it's not like I got in trouble and left. Yeah, and what was the best thing? Well, I mean, I got they when you retire, you get an American flag. So that was the coolest thing. So yeah, I retired, man. Yeah, and I had to stay busy though, so I went back to school.
I gotta ask you, bro.
Oh,
What are your thoughts on Ramundi?
Monday.
Anthony Ramundi.
I thought that was.
The guy I have on the show all the time.
Yeah, I thought that's your boy.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking
What are
about.
you what are your thoughts on him?
You're talking about the military dude.
Yeah. Because you're the real Green Beret, man.
No, he has. I think we did. I think he was there for Veterans Day as well.
Yeah.
I think he got us for.
Yeah. Keeps freezing, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey, let's address this real quick because you did ask a question before we go to your boy Sheva. When you said what I think about how the things happened when we pulled out.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's so tribal affiliated. You don't have a strong Republican Party, Democratic Party, Independent. You don't have none of that. You have villages, and whoever has the highest status in that area, as far as village the tribes, it's tribal. So it's just it's not gonna be it's always gonna be kind of like well
We go over there and force our own stuff on them. It's not gonna work.
it's not gonna work. And the way I think it fell in weeks, right? It got turned over. But if you look at their country within what I don't know how long it's been 4,000 years, whatever. It's just a blink of an eye that we went in and left, and it turned over it is turned over. So, you know, uh, and I don't say I don't say that we lost or did anything. I don't believe in that. I believe that I got tired of kicking their ass, and I mean we kicked their ass. They don't fight. They go
No
in.
one could win. No one could beat us, man. They can't beat us.
No, and then when I'm leaving, I'm like, "Here's your super stalker ball. You can have it back now." And
Yeah. It's all broken. You can have it back.
Here you go. And but it's all warlords too. That's right. It's all tribal stuff, and it's all
a lot of drugs there too, right? It's a lot of isn't a lot of heroin, poppy and all that, poppy fields and all that shit. Opium.
I walked through acres and acres, maybe even miles of poppies up to your chest, right? And then they take it, process it. What they do, they cut it and get juice it up. But they do all that. I mean, it's just a big, dude. It's a big process. But it's pretty cool to see all that. But that's you can't. So when we say, what are you going to replace poppy with? Nothing. You give them. You can't give them corn to make up for that, the money that they get from the revenue they're getting from poppies. So it's tough to eradicate it when that's kind of like their livelihood.
We're trying to police the world, man. We're the world police. Team America. Fuck
Team
yeah. You seen that, right? Have you guys seen that?
Team America?
Team America. They're like little you gotta watch it, man. It's called Team America, bro. Yeah. It's like little
so back to
it's like little
your boy.
Ramundi. How do you feel about Ramundi?
So, my bad.
How do you feel about Ramundi?
I heard it from other that you have other episodes that you had. As far as the military, listening to him, he's definitely been in the military, and been in the Navy, and obviously it was during peacetime. A lot of stuff he has is during peacetime, which he served his country. So, and you had another gentleman on there as well. Thank you, sis.
Yeah, Eli. Shout out to Eli, man.
Eli, man. Hey, when I hear him talking, man, it just takes me back because he's more. I relate more to him because of the places he's been.
Yeah.
I haven't so that's all stuff.
You guys definitely have similar
backgrounds and
yeah.
Yeah.
He was with the tank division.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shout out to Eli, man, because he was. I can really relate to him and his stories.
He told me some crazy stories, man. He said that there was a story about someone sleeping under a tank and it just moved and cut him right in half.
Cut right in half.
Bad, bro.
I've heard of like guys standing in like the driver standing up in tanks and the whole turning around and cutting those guys.
That's bad, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, sis. Definitely Ramundi's supposed to be on tomorrow with Frank DiMatteo. Hopefully Frank DiMatteo gets his computer and
Hey, are you gonna drop some hints on who you're picking up, man? Because you just said you got some people coming in.
oh man, I got a ton of people coming, man. Ton of people. So this week I got Thursday. I have Joey Catalano. Joey Catalano.
Oh, that's who's coming up next.
You gonna keep him in the bed?
Oh,
Yeah, man.
As many saints. Oh, cool. Chat with Staxx. Oh, so this
this is on Thursday, 8:00.
That dude looks like a mean dude, man.
He's in a lot of movies, man. A lot of different movies, and
familiar.
Yeah, you probably seen him in a bunch of movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I got a whole bunch of people on the way. People are going to be quite surprised at the people I have coming. Stepping my game up, man. I'm trying. But man, I want to thank you for coming on tonight, bro.
Hey, Staxx, I'm gonna tap out for now because I'm just.
Thank you for joining me tonight, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Staxx, much love to you guys. Much love to the viewers, man. Thank you for all the support, man. There's a bunch of you guys, bunch of vets, man. Thank you for your service as well, and for all the kind words you guys said, man. And I Staxx, if you ever want me on again, man, I enjoy chopping it up with you. And I got many stories.
Yeah. No problem, man.
All right,
yeah,
guys.
man. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. We'll see you guys next time.
All right, brother. Salute.
Later, man. Have a good night, bro.
You too.